Hey, kia ora from beautiful Aotearoa, New Zealand. That is to say, hello from beautiful New Zealand. I'm Career Break Guy, taking an evening break from my corporate life. Thank you for joining me. Another session of just the pick up and play a game because I've got them and they're fun and I enjoy it. And so today I'm going to try, as you can probably tell by looking at the screen and also the title, the Walking Dead role-playing game from Free League. This is exciting. I used to love The Walking Dead back when everyone's like, oh, Walking Dead, it's not as good as Game of Thrones. I was like, no, Walking Dead's much better. And then, Game of Thrones did its final season and that was a mistake. And then Walking Dead did mini seasons, which were a mistake. But I still love zombies, Walking Dead, and also Free League. This is the first Free League Year Zero engine game that I'm going to play. So Year Zero engine, you have stats, you've got your core stats like strength and whatnot, plus skills. For every point that you have in a skill or attribute, you have a d6, and when you roll the d6, if you get a 6, you succeed. That's all it takes. So we'll go through that. Like all the other ones, I'm going to roll up a character and then start an adventure, hopefully. I've not tried this before, so I guess fingers crossed on the whole thing. So, first of all, let's get started then. Making a person. Let's bring up a create actor. And let's call this person Andrew. That's a good name for someone in The Walking Dead, I think. Let's bring up the book as well. Core rule book. Is that the rule book? That's map. No, that is the core rule book. Core rule set. Your player character. So what we need to do is it playing the game? I thought it was in this one. Hey, you can tell that I don't actually script any of this. So what you need to do is you need to make a character. Book. Why have I suddenly lost the character creation? Playing character. Playing character. Driving group, wishes, anchors. Chapter 2. People. No. I do actually have the book itself, not on me, but I kind of wish I did at just this moment. What do you do? No, anchors, issues, being a group. Where is this character creation gone? Well, here's, I guess, the... oh, wait, there it is. Playing characters. Use your eyes. It's all right there, but this is good. This is, learning what happens if you just want to pick up a game and start playing. So to start, you choose an archetype. So these are the kind of things that people were before the zombie apocalypse. So if you don't know the concept, there was a zombie outbreak for some reason. When people die, they turn into zombies, crave the blood, the flesh of the living, and this is about the people who are still alive. So, you could say, I used to be a criminal, a doctor, a farmer, homemaker, all those kind of things. This time I'm going to choose scientist, just because for a living I am a bit of a nerd. So this person isn't going to be me, this is going to be Andrew. But I'm going to say that Andrew is a scientist. The scientist, in fact. And I'm just going to real quickly also try and modify, grab a new face for him. Modules, Walking Dead, assets. I believe it's in journal art. Chapter 3, scientist. There you go. There he is, and then we'll use the picture over here. Send that to the front. Delete that. Alright, there we go. Andrew. Sold. Apply. So, right, he's going to be the scientist. Now, when you're making your character, you've got archetype, name, Andrew, choose an issue. So each of these comes with a role-playing issue. that also helps figure out who you are. And I think, you know what, he's going to be morally flexible. Edit. You would just write this down when you put a paper if you're not using a VTT. Thank you again to the wonderful people over at Free League for sending me this VTT. I do own the book. I own the physical copy, digital copy, but didn't own the VTT, so they hooked me up. Shout out Bowl. Morally flexible. So he kind of feels like someone who's just going to do what he needs to do to survive at the moment, and will rationalize it away. Maybe actually it's more understandable with logic, not emotions. I think I can play it either way. So alright, issue, then you've got to drive. What is the thing that keeps you going in the middle of this zombie outbreak? And his one is, you know, there's always a chance. There is always a chance. And with this drive, what it is once per game session, which will be just today, I can say, hey, look, he's about to do, Andrew's about to do, it pulls into his drive. And so that allows you to roll an extra dice, which could be quite useful. He's got that. Playing character, wrong one, playing character. So we've got an issue, we've got a drive. We get 13 points amongst your attributes. So let's say if we just go 3 for each to start with, but 4 because he's a smarty smart. Anything else I want to move around? You know what, for the sake of this, I think maybe I'll just, I'll leave it as that. He's actually a bit of an all-rounder. Not a gym buff, but he played a bit of, maybe he went for jogs as much as he had his computer-based career. So this means, you know, if he needs to do one of these, close combat force or endure, he would roll 3 dice from his strength plus whatever the rating is there. So at 12 points amongst our skills. So I reckon he's probably got at least a point in medicine. I just said that he had, what is endure? No, well, let me do that. Maybe a bit of manipulation. Lots of tech, so let's give him 3 tech. He went for his jogs. He's not super buff, so I'm not going to give him force. Maybe 1 point of endure. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 8. He's picked up this 9. He's learnt to survive for a little bit. 10. Maybe a little bit of searching. 11. 12, 13. Let's give him 12. And I guess he's picked up lots of things. Whilst he's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I've done too many. So let's just say that he's picked up a few things in his time since the zombie invasion, the zombie outbreak, which we don't know exactly when it is. I'll actually give him 0 close combat. He doesn't want to actually get close. So yeah, bit of an all-rounder, which is nice. So now you get to choose a talent. So talents are tricks and traits and abilities that benefit you. So as a scientist, his options are talents, so key attributes is wits, key skill is tech, so that means that he's allowed to raise those a little bit higher. Intuition, techno, babbler, or handy. What are these things actually? Talents, scientist, handy. With a little time and some tools, you can repair most things. That's useful. Intuition, once per game session, I can talk to the GM about getting some useful information. Probably not as useful when it's a single player thing. Tech, you can use manipulation when you discuss complex matters. That sounds like him. Did that copy somewhere? Talent. Technobabble. Sweet. So we've got that. What else do we do next for creating a character? Talent, choose gear. So with this, you roll a d6 3 times and get that. So I've got my little dice roller here. So if I, oh, it's over there even. Roll /R. Oh wait, even better. I've got this. 1, 2, 3. If there's a repeat, then we re-roll that one. 3, 3, 4. So I'll get 3 and 4 plus 5. 3, 4, 5. Flashlight, a tent, and a portable stove with a gas and lighter. Okay. Not going to be great if he ever needs to get in a fight. But I guess he's just going to have to deal with that. At least he's got somewhere to stay. Tent. And a... stove. Alright, I guess I'll just make it. +1, new gear. That's weird that's not in the inventory. Portable stove with gas and lighter. That may be quite handy though. Alright, now what do we need to do to get our character? He's got archetype, he's a scientist, he's got his name, Andrew. His issue is that he's morally flexible, believes there's also a chance. What else we got? Got his attributes there. He has got gear, define relationship to other PCs. Okay, so that's not difficult because there is no other PCs. So what I can do instead is choose to anchors. Anchors are someone that you can reduce stress if you deal with them. But he doesn't have any other players because I'm doing this on my own. And describe the starting haven. So normally what you do is you actually make a little place where you're surviving, be it a tent, be it a building, a bus, a fort. And inside of that you put some NPCs, and these are your little group of people that you survived with. I'm going to say that something has happened, and Andrew now finds himself on his own. And I think this is maybe quite early in the piece for him finding himself alone. Maybe the first day that he's woken up afterwards. Which means I'm going to get to just roll a few things and see what happens. But there we go. That's Andrew. Not carrying a lot, as it turns out. Maybe you could wake something with a flashlight if need be. The game screen on. Look at that. This art, again, is just amazing. Make that bigger. And I finally figured out not to put the text box or the chat log directly behind my head on stream. So, you know, learning. Alright, so we have Andrew, and I guess we'll just kick off. So setting a scene. I think, so Andrew wakes up, and he's up a tree. So he stretches, it's a bit uncomfortable, but at the same time he managed to find a tree which has got a nice little space in the branches where he could hunker down and feel quite safe that he wasn't going to fall out. He hasn't set up his tent. He's in Atlanta and the morning's already warming up. It's shaping to be a beautiful day. It's strange. There's the sun's out and there's birds singing. It's as though the birds don't realize that the entire world has gone to hell. And they're just carrying on as if this is the old days. So he thinks back, takes stock of his situation, listens, doesn't hear anything, which is very reassuring. And he thinks back to last night with the yelling and the gunfire as walkers overran his haven. He remembers, exiting out of his tent and seeing Mary, or at least the back of Mary, and she was standing quite oddly, and the screaming hadn't started by this point. But then when she turned, he saw that she was missing a large chunk from her shoulder, and blood was all down her front. And as she lurched at him, he grabbed a couple of things with him. Weirdly enough, inside of his tent was also another tent. I guess he just grabbed that bag. It was one of the to-go bags that they had in case anyone ever had to go and do a run for an extended period out of town. just the basic necessities of a tent, something to cook with, and a flashlight. He didn't manage to grab one of the weapon packs. He didn't manage to grab any food. This is just the first bag, and he bolted and turning behind him, he could see the walls of the haven coming down. And he was just in full flight mode to survive, so he ran through the night. He wasn't following the road, he just went away from the noise, cutting through the forest, branches whipping at his face. And he ran until his lungs were burning. And then, when it was quiet, he, panting, he took a moment, just enough time to get his breath, before looking and finding actually this tree is high enough that you have to climb to get to it, but at the same time wide enough that there's a gap in the boughs that he could rest. And so he climbed up there with his pack and drifted off to sleep. No, not really drifted off to sleep so much as just passed out from the exhaustion. So waking up now, he looks and he's like, all right, well, I don't hear anything immediately, which is good. I better take stock of what we've got, it's this is my situation now, so I guess I've got to make the best of it. So what he's going to do is he's going to go through this pack. He's like, oh, which one did I get? Oh, my dog just gave me a jump scare. Fantastic. So he opens up this pack, and lo and behold, he finds that, oh, damn it, I got one of these ones. I've got a tent, which no use in a tree, I guess. He's got his cooking thing. He's like, well, that's useful if I had food. And it, almost just to acknowledge the fact that he has something to cook with but no food, his stomach rumbles. I mean, he ate last night, but I guess the exertion, he's maybe not as fit as he remembers. And then a flashlight, which thankfully has batteries as he clicks it a few times. So he sits there and he's like, well, there's... I didn't count them, but I think there's enough walkers that the camp is completely overrun. Even if there is any survivors or anything left to collect from there, there's still got to be milling around. I'm not going to be able to get in and collect anything. So I'm going to actually have to push on. Immediately I'm going to have to find some food and water. And probably a weapon. And to that end, he's going to pick up a branch. Gives it a bit of... he's going to climb down and then look around for a branch. Just not going to be an ideal bat, but... is there a bat? Close combat weapon? I think it's an improvised weapon. He's just... not quite a baseball bat. So I'm just going to give him this improvised weapon, which is his club now. Something. You can use it as a walking stick in the meantime as well. And I think, I'm going to say, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got, the flashlight is one of those nice big mag lights, so if push came to shove, probably could whack something with that as well. But right now, he is, he's in the middle of this forested area. And he's like, well, I guess I'm just going to... I didn't really pay attention even as to what direction I fled in the night, so I guess the only way is forward, away from where I think the camp was, away from the walkers, away from the death. And so he's going to plod his way forwards, pushing on through the trees and trying to find anything, a place to survive, more people hopefully, or something to survive with. He's not ready to give up yet. There's always a chance. So you know what? I'm going to actually do a roll now. But first of all, to make things interesting, in this game you've only got 3 health, which is awkward, but you gain stress. When things happen, you gain stress. What stress does is it gives you an additional d6 to whatever you roll. However, if you roll a walker, a 1, on that dice, you do what's known as you've messed up. So even if you succeed in the roll, you roll a 6, something bad happens. So I'm going to say, having Haven overrun, maybe he had a couple of points of stress last night running through these trees. And even though he's calmed down a bit now, he's still got 1 point of stress, which means he can start screwing things up anytime he rolls. But I'm going to start off. I'm going to say he's going to do a scout roll. So as he's a survival roll. Will it show me what survival? I'll just grab it out of the book. Skills, attributes, skills. Survival? No, doesn't want me to do that. Skills and talents. So survival is... The art in this game is beautiful. Skills list. There we go. Survival. It's everything you need to know about surviving outside a haven. How to set up camp, find water, know if the water's potable, set traps for animals, and also you can do scavenging. So what he's going to do is he's going to push forward and he's going to try and find some water. I'm going to roll first survival roll to see if he can find some drinkable water. So there you go, you can see he's got 4 for his wits, 1 for his survival, and then 1 for the stress dice. So if that stress dice comes up 1, even if he rolls 6s elsewhere, something happens. Sweet, so the stress dice did not do a 1, so it's not that it goes bad, but you can see there's no 6s, so he didn't succeed. I can push that roll, which means he can roll it again, but he gets another point of stress for that roll. And I don't think at this time he's too worried. He ate and drank last night. It would be nice, but in the meantime, he's just going to keep pushing forwards, and he's going to push through these these trees. And I'm going to roll a d6, and I'm going to say, this is known as a lucky dice. And I'm going to say, is there a some kind of settlement type thing nearby on a 4, 5, 6? There is 4. Okay, there is something nearby. That's great. And rollable tables, they have one for a... Daniel has been taken. Oh my god, what's that? Wilderness? Is that the one I want to roll? There's an encounter table somewhere. Encounter type. Walker swarm. No. What I wanted was the one that shows just area. Random event. Random location. Yeah, okay, let's do a random location. So he's pushing through, and what it is oh, interesting. So he's pushing through these trees, and after a while he actually notices that they're clearing out to one side, and as he goes towards it, he finds that there's a road. It's not a major road or anything, but it is paved. Weeds are beginning to come through in various cracks. But it's a road, and so he thinks, well, okay, roads obviously lead to and from places, so he follows it for a while. It's still early morning, and following it down, he finds that there is a gas station, petrol station, if you will. Now he's going to sneak towards us because he hasn't heard anything. I'm saying at the moment you've got a threat meter, which goes up or down. A threat of 1 means that there are zombies in the area. 2 is more zombies in the area. By the time you get to 3 means that zombies are aware of you. And a threat level of 0 doesn't mean that there's no zombies, it's just you're not aware of any. So hold on, let's just get rid of some of this, as I was just demonstrating it. So I'm going to say at the moment it's threat level 0. No one's aware of any zombies. But he knows it pays to be cautious up, and then I immediately put something behind my head again. So he's gonna sneak up on this. You know, there's every chance that this has been scavenged. You know what? Someone from his haven might have even scavenged in here before, but he's gonna try, because maybe they missed something. All he needs is a little bit of food, you know, a muesli bar or chocolate bar and some water. It was a great start. So he's going to try and stealth in. So 3 for his agility, 1 for stealth, and then 1 for that stress dice. No luck. He's plodding through it, and he's trying to be stealthy. He's trying to keep just in the tree line, trying to keep his eyes out. But this has never been his forte. It's been something he's gotten better at, due to the nature of living in a zombie outbreak. But you know, he's no ninja. But he makes his way closer towards this building. Oh god, okay. So as much as he's trying to stealth up, he's also going to... is there a scout? Yeah, he's going to roll his scout. As he stops. He's going to listen out. See if he can hear anything, especially the rustle of zombies inside, or walkers inside. Doesn't immediately hear anything. So what he's going to do is he's going to wander in. I'm going to roll for the store owner, who I know is upstairs, and they say if someone is just, you meet an NPC, give them 3 dice in a skill unless they're trained in it or an expert in it. So I'm going to roll the storekeeper's awareness, their scouting, to see if they hear him coming in, whether he has a moment. Oh yeah, so they absolutely hear Andrew walk into this petrol station. So he's creeping forwards, and he hasn't heard anything. And to the best of his knowledge, he's been quite stealthy. He comes in from the tree line, which means he comes around the side of the petrol station. It just kind of pulls off the road. It's just like a one pumper type thing. I am walking the dead. Hey, Moji. I'm about to be dead as well because my character has not noticed someone who's about to cannibalize him. So he's coming around the side of this building, and he kind of like, you know, up to the window frame, and he kind of peers in. Gives it a moment. He still hasn't heard anything, hasn't seen anything down here. As it stands, there's a... What it is there's a... Okay, so it's like a 2-level thing, but on the inside. The second level is not really noticeable. It's a tall building, but it's not the full width of the building. I know it is. Of course it is, yeah, it is. So, but looking on the ground floor, he's not seeing anything, not hearing anything. It looks deserted. So he's going to very carefully sneak in there. And he's going to try and forage for something. So he's going to roll his survival. Ooh, and he gets 2 successes, which means he can roll on the scavenge table to see if he finds something. But I think what's going to happen first is the that storekeeper is going to come down. I'm going to see if the storekeeper is stealthy enough. Roll 3d6. Let's see how noisy this guy is. Oh god, he is so stealthy, so aware and so stealthy, and Andrew is neither of these things. This is going to be really awkward. So he goes inside, and he's got his backpack on, but he is he walks up to the counter, and he puts his stick on the bench, and goes around and starts, very carefully, mind you, trying to see what he can find. And this is when the storekeeper, who has heard him from upstairs, hear him? Yeah, he did, somewhere. Yeah, that's where he heard him. So the storekeeper heard him, and he sneaks down the stairs, quiet as a little mouse. And he has got some kind of, I will say he's got a baseball bat. And he's slowly sneaking up behind. And he is going to take a swing. So normally what happens is you do a contested roll. It's known as a brawl, so what happens is the people involved in the fight, whether it's melee or close combat or shooting, they roll, and whoever gets more successes does the hit. But because I'm the only person here, I'm going to do it slightly differently. And obviously to start, this guy's going to get a free swing. So if he gets a 6, he will whack poor little Andrew with a bat. Of course he gets a 6. This guy he is Parker Lewis in that he cannot lose. So a baseball bat does damage of 2. God, okay, so he sneaks up behind Andrew. Andrew has potentially found something, and at that moment just feels this baseball bat come cracking down between his shoulder blades. Drops him to the floor. Sorry, bruised already. What? Kids don't know about Parker Lewis? Next thing I'm going to say they don't know about Ferris Bueller and his day off. Nonsense. Yeah, so Rando has just whacked Andrew with a baseball bat. Damn it. And now we're going to go into a brawl. So what happens is with these, there's different phases. The first phase is movement phase, and then I'm going to pull up the rules so I can tell you these accurately. Combat and healing. Duels. This one is a duel rather than a brawl. Brawl is more than 2 people. So, I didn't add 1 dice for his baseball bat. What a shame. Defenseless target, yep. Just succeed with a hit, which is what he did. But now it is it's a proper fight. So the brawls is where it's got the various phases: taking cover, range combat, close combat, first aid, movement, first aid, other. So anyway, we're in a duel. There's just the 2 of them. Unbeknownst to Andrew, this guy's name is Parker. Parker, the store owner, the petrol station owner, who has survived by ambushing people who sneak in here to try and scrounge around and eating them, as it turns out. I guess we'll find if we survive, or if Andrew survives and gets upstairs, he's probably going to find something terrifying. In the meantime, okay, so he's just been whacked in the back. So he's going to spin around, and now we're going to be in a fight. So what he's going to do is of course he's got no close combat, but he's going to roll his close combat, and there are solo rules available in The Walking Dead. I love this about Free League. A lot of their things just have built-in solo rules. And this is not the one I want. Player facing opposing roles. So this guy is standard. He's not a brawler either. He's a store owner. So as long as Andrew gets 1 success, he will be able to hit him. Okay, see, here's the option, sorry. If he fails and gets no successes, the opponent does damage. And this could be the shortest pick up and play I've ever done. If he gets 1 success, but fewer than required, although he only needs 1, we both deal damage. If you get the required number of successes, he'll deal damage, and if he gets more, he does extra damage. So it's, because the difficulty is 1, it's either going to be he gets no successes or he gets the required number. So, come on, Andrew. Yep, that's it. Right. Carl, close combat. Let's see. He's going to roll those bones. I've got to get at least 1 success. Otherwise, Andrew, you're in a lot of trouble, you poor little data scientist. Okay, so Carl, thank you, Moj. Carl. So this is what I was talking about. He got a 6, which means he got a success. However, On the stress dice, he got a 1, which means he messed up. So what it is oh, and what's the damage on just punching a dude? 1 damage. Okay, so he's done 1 damage to this other chap. I'll just note 1 damage. So yeah, the guy cracks him, and he goes sprawling on the ground. That chat message is brutal. Which one's that? Oh, you messed up. Yeah, has no chill. So he gets hit and he goes sprawling, skidding across the ground, and Parker's coming in, and he's got the bat above his head. He's about to whack him again and finish it off. Andrew just grabs a handful of debris that's on the ground and throws it in his face and gives him a momentary distraction. And Andrew is up on his feet. He wants to tackle him, but unfortunately, due to just being cracked in the back, he is kind of disorientated, and he just throws himself, like puts a shoulder in, just to try and knock Carl to the ground, and he knocks him back into a shelving, and the shelvings come clattering down. And what I'm saying is the mess up is it is just hella noisy. So there is a good chance that if there are zombies in the area, they have now heard something is happening. There's a commotion. Like these two are, Parker is swinging, and in this it's not just like D&D where I attack, then I wait 6 seconds until it's my turn to attack again. This is actually an ongoing thing. So Parker is swinging, Andrew is ducking. He's managed to knock him into the shelf once. Parker put that big hit into his back at the start. But it's an ongoing melee, like, ducking behind shelves and throwing things off the shelf at him, and he's like, batting it away, and then swinging his bat at Andrew's face. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next round of combat, and let's say, what's the chance that Andrew has managed to get back to the desk? Actually, no, not even going to say that. I think that it is fair to say that Andrew has, in this place, managed to pick up an improvised weapon, even if he's grabbed just like a piece of shelving in his hand, that now he's got a bit of weight in his fist, or something long enough they can swing. I'm going to say he's got his improvised weapon from here. Same as before. So here's, that is equip item. Okay. Anyway, so he's going to fight with his improvised, maybe firing off a gun stapler at Parker. So he's going to give it a go. Again, I instantly regret that I dropped close combat, because realistically it is just such an important skill in a zombie apocalypse. So how's this roll going? Not great. But Andrew is, the stress is definitely rising. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that roll. It means I get 1 additional stress point, which I think makes sense. But he does get to re-roll anything that's not a 1 or a 6, and none of them were 1s or 6s, so he gets to re-roll all those dice plus an additional stress dice. Aha! Why does it say 1 success? Which one was it success? Oh, okay. One of my stress dice, which I couldn't see on the screen, was a 6, which is lucky. So he does manage to do another point of damage to Parker. He it is that one of the shelves is broken, and so he's actually just picked up this thing, and Parker's swung with the bat, and he's just kind of taken it and jammed it forwards into him, and it's kind of caught him half in the neck and kind of knocked him back a little bit. Fight is going to go another round. He's going to keep trying just to he's like, man, stop it, like, quit it. But there is a bloodlust in Parker's eyes. At first he was you know, he snuck up on him. He thought it was good. He thought it would get him in one hit. For some reason, he managed to stay up. And now he's been hit, and Parker's feeling he's right in a corner at the moment. So he is... It's not just survival eating now, it is survival. He realizes, as much as Andrew realizes, that actually we are in a fight to the death here. Oh, no! No. So, you know what that is? So, the fight, it's raging all through this little building, and there is just bashing, clattering, you know, there's smashing noises everywhere. These two, they're just focusing on each other, yelling like, "Dude, stop it! Leave me alone!" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna kill you!" Yeah. And so what happens is Andrew fails to notice as he gets... He's you know, they're dancing around this room. It's not too big, but it's big enough to, you know, there's a few aisles in the middle, and of course there's stairs somewhere that go upstairs. But he gets too close to one of the external windows, and I'm going to say that there is a random, you know, because there's been all this crashing, and there's two... I messed up with 2 dice. So I'm going to say that a walker has been alerted to this. So we're going to put the threat meter up to 3 because there is a walker, at least one, and it knows of him. And just as he's like backs away from, like a big swing with this baseball bat, and he manages to get back out of it. And I'm going to give him a pass on actually getting hit from it, because the walker is going to do a random walker attack on him. So what he's going to do is, you know what? You're meant to be able to do, if there's a random walker attack, you can roll a skill to try and avoid the random walker attack. And, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to roll Scout to see if at the last minute he can notice that there is a walker right by the window that he has just been effectively pushed back to. Okay, so he does notice it. Unfortunately, he messes up again. So I'm going to say what happens is I know, oh dear, this thing is, you thought that Dragonbane had no chill emoji, but it turns out this game is just so much worse. So he is going to, I think what it is the walker actually grabs him, as much as he knows this, and he's like, crap, just tries to yank himself free, but ends up pulling, this is a walker, it must be Freisha, maybe it's, it's not one that's as decrepit as some of the others. At the same time, let's see, do I have a quick description of them? There's all these random walker roll tables, that's quite cool. Or I've already got one. Walker wounds, you know, let's... Oh gosh, okay, so this person, I'm not going to take it as a straight asylum patient, but I'm going to say, it makes me think of straitjacket. So this person has actually got manacles on one arm, and there's also a hand attached in, or part of an arm that's in that manacle. The arm has come free, but still got it kind of dangling, and this one's more stumpy. It must have been a prisoner from somewhere close enough. Let's see if it's got it. And it's also been shot through the throat with an arrow. So this is... There's this person in like raggedy clothes, not entirely sunken, but very ashen. One arm with a manacle with a part of a femur. Is femur the arm? Anyway, inside this manacle, an arrow through the throat. Maybe that's... I wonder if what happened is a little bit of backstory for this person is they were escaping from whoever had them captive, and they were almost out of the way, but then one of the captors shot them with a crossbow. Not saying that it's Daryl Dixon, but I'm not saying it's Daryl Dixon. Shot him through the throat, which meant they died, and they didn't go pick up the body. I guess maybe they were transporting other people, didn't want to bother with it. And then they eventually, something gnawed on their arm, but then because when you die, you come back in The Walking Dead, so as much as their arm was damaged, they came back to life. They had this arrow in their throat. The arm just managed to pull off, and then they went wandering and just happened to be by this petrol station. So anyway, it's grabbed him. He pulls himself, but the mess up, I think, it's pulled the zombie in as well. So now the zombie has the option. There is a zombie inside this room, and it's now effectively a three-way fight. So there is a thing for dealing with hordes, or swarms they're called. So the swarm is a swarm of one zombie, or one walker. It is not optimal. Although, let's see if old Parker's panicked. So on a 456, Parker's panicked and is probably going to focus more on this walker. No, he... Parker Lewis refuses to lose, and is going to continue his relentless assault on Andrew. So, but apparently Andrew can lose. Right, so we've got inside this this petrol station one walker that we're aware of, one cannibal gas station owner, and also poor Andrew, who is having just an awful day. Just wanted a muesli bar and some water. So dealing with swarms. Fighting the Dead, is it that one? Yeah, so you can get swarms up to 1,000 plus. But that's thankfully not the situation we're in right now. Threat level is, walkers are aware of him, so threat level 3, as we said. Oh wait, actually, it's threat level 5. The walker is at arm's length. Escalates. So let's say that fighting a swarm. Small groups, you have to make skill rolls when you're dealing with these. Using the threat level. So it's a single walker. One roll. During combat, if you suffer a single attack while it's ready to roll, you still get to roll to avoid it. Does not count as an action. Okay, so I'm going to say that he is going to take his action to try and... There's always a chance. He's going to try and launch this walker at Parker. Parker is all about Andrew. He's focusing on him. So I'm going to say that he's going to use his force, which is his strength, to try and launch this walker at Parker. And he's going to push that. He goads it in, and he does. He manages to lead it through, but unfortunately I did mess up, which means I'm going to say that mess up is there's actually more walkers outside, so this is escalating really quickly for him, but he does manage to fire the walker into Parker, and I'm going to do a walker attack. Is that the one I want? Single attack. Single walker attack. Which one's the walker attack? Walker attack. Here we go. Okay, so let's see what happens to good old Parker. That's not what I expected to happen. Walker attack. Just roll it! Okay, so yeah, Andrew is standing there, and he's there's one of the shelves is still upright, and he's got the walker coming in like lurching from one side, and this bloodthirsty Parker coming at him from the other, and he's kind of like side eyeing the walker at this point. And then just as Andrew comes in for a big overhead swing, he sidesteps and pulls on the bat, which pulls Parker a little bit further forward just as the walker itself lunges, and it just bites into the side of Parker's head, and he screams, and this is the noise that's causing more walkers. And I'm saying it's not that there might be more walkers, I'm saying there's definitely more walkers in the area now. And it just, yeah, it's tearing, and just blood starts gushing, and it pulls his ear off because, he's bleeding heavily. He already had 2 points of damage, so what it is that he is now down. And I'm going to say, just when you're down, and you're down next to a zombie, I'm just going to call that dead. So Andrew is he's backing up. He's horrified, as much as it was life or death. And he still hurts like hell. Like, he got hit with a bat in the back. But he's just kind of like backing up. He's got his bag on. He's just going to, he's just going to grab some stuff as he's heading out. Just, what were those 2 scavenging rolls that he had? A funny hat and body armor. Okay, so as he's getting out, he notices what makes a body armor. We could say that he. Oh, you know what? So as he's going out, he spins, grabs up his walking stick club thing again, and as he's going out, there's just quite a thick kind of jacket. There's various clothes, and he just grabs that on his way through. And I think that's gonna, it's a nice downy jacket, which in Atlanta, maybe it was left from one of the people that Park had eaten previously. But what it is, I'm going to say it's thick enough that it's going to provide a little bit of armor in case he gets attacked by a walker in future. And he's going to book it, and lo and behold, spinning around, he can see that walkers are starting to come out of the trees. So he's just going to take off down the road, away from this. Parker stops screaming, but at the same time, the moaning of the walkers has increased. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the threat meter down. He's just going to run and run and run until he cannot see any more walkers around. And eventually he's just going to, he comes to a crossroads. But again, it's kind of like this, not highway, still 2 lanes, but nothing spectacular. And it's the crossroad goes onto more, T intersection with more of just this smaller backcountry, not dirt road, but certainly not highway road. And he just stops and he looks in all 4 directions, and at the trees have kind of thinned out a lot. And you can actually see that it gets into more open country a bit further down. And he's just gonna, hands on his knees, and just suck deep breaths of air, like half cry but laughing because he's alive, and it seems so unlikely that he would be at this moment, but he's managed to survive. And he looks at his coat and is like, well, I mean, that's great, but like, honestly, too hot to really wear for most of the time. And now he's more hungry and more thirsty. But he just takes a moment and looks up, and lo and behold, the birds are still singing, still apparently blissfully unaware that the world has ended. And he is going to take the moment, appreciate the fact that he is here, and looking left, right, down the roads, looking forwards, is going to strike off towards the more open fields. But I'm going to roll another survival to try and find some water. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to d6 it. So on a 3, 4, 5, there is some kind of water available. Yeah, there's water. And with a 6, I'm going to give myself that it's... as he's traveling and gets to these fields, there is a stream. Why? Yeah, so he finds a stream, and he knows that this might not be the cleanest water, but at the same time he's parched now. He had been running more or less throughout the night, throughout the morning. He got in a fight. He hurt so bad. He narrowly escaped death. He watched someone die. He takes big gulping mouthfuls of the water and then splashes it all over his face, just holds it there. But now he's gonna take just a moment again to sit by the edge of the water, and I'm going to roll random event, maybe. What's on this table? No, probably not that. Random encounter. Is there an encounter? Faction encounters, no. NPC encounters. What's wilderness? What happens if I roll on wilderness? Well, that's grim. So I guess he takes off back along the field, and he's just heading towards a fence line. He figures that these fence lines will eventually lead to something. And as he gets closer to the fence, he realizes that there's something on top, and closer still, he finds that there's maybe just like a half a dozen heads spread across this fence, and they've just been impaled there. Not enough that they're actually obviously been destroyed, or maybe a couple of them may have been, but the rest are sitting there, and their eyes just roll towards them, and the jaws are trying to chew at them, even though they've got no body attached to them. And it's, I know, and again the birds are still singing, and he just sits there and wonders at what the heck is going on. But he's going to follow his this fence line for a bit, and see what else we can find. Maybe it is a random encounter, random location, random event. What happens if I roll a random? If I don't like it, I don't need to use it. Great. So he's following this fence line, and he sees a body up ahead, but this one's not grey. Pretty much. So he's going to sneak up on this one again, and he sees that actually it's breathing, and that's a really good sign, because the dead don't breathe. But it is a naked man, of all things, unconscious, and he's just on the ground. And you know what? When he sees this, I'm going to say let's roll a survival. Let's see if he notices any tracks leading to or from this. Oh, I've got so many stress dice now. Okay, so what it is there's this guy just kind of by the fence, but there are actually tracks leading up to him. And Andrew notices these where the grass is, obviously no one's mowing the grass. This is zombie freaking apocalypse. So he notices that the grass has been pushed down as though a group of people have walked through here. And it's kind of double-edged. One, there's people that could be something good, but at the same time, it's this kind of people who are at where a naked guy is, a naked unconscious man, and there's every chance that they're the ones that put him there. So he's not entirely sure what to think of this. But he doesn't really have other options at the moment. He's going to... Look, he has no resources. He has nothing that he could assist this guy with. The guy doesn't know he's here. So this is where I'm going that morally flexible. And saying he's just going to start following this trail. And seeing where it leads. And let's say... maybe... Shall we say it leads us to a... Let's do another location. Random location. Oops. By now it's a mid-afternoon. He's actually getting quite hungry. God, okay. Following this road, eventually he sees a road sign that mentions that the Mali correctional facility is up ahead, and the tracks have gotten back onto the road, but it's like 5 miles. So he's gonna keep pushing forward and just assume that a correctional facility, maybe this is where the people have come from. They're not necessarily going to be convicts or anything. They might have already died. They might just be some people that are there and using it as a base, or there might, if not that, there at least might be some resources there. But he suspects there are going to be people there because the tracks were leading partway there. So he's going to follow this closer to the road, and I'm going to see, is there a random... What happens if I roll random PC encounter? Okay, so he comes, he comes across a person. Let's see whether he notices a person further up the road. No, I'm going to hold on to that, though. Does this person notice him? Okay, so neither of them notice each other. So I think what happens is he's going on, he's heading towards the facility, and she's actually meant to be a lookout, but she, at this time, she is... Did I close her thing? Yep. Melissa, ex-drug addict, thinks the worst of people. Yeah, so she is having a drink at the moment. Even though she's meant to be keeping watch, she's got a little lookout area, which is hidden from the road, and she's meant to be looking out. But she's got a beer. Oh no, some whiskey. Come on, she's got some whiskey that she's drinking at the moment, and not really paying attention. And Andrew hasn't even noticed the lookout. It's actually quite well hidden. So what I'm going to say is that he goes past it, and it's not until he's past it, and she's now behind him, that she notices. And so she's like, "Hey, who are you? Hey, what are you doing here?" And so they're both going to spin around. And the way that I'm calling that mess up is that she is already kind of more standoffish. It turns out she thinks worse of people anyway. But yeah, she's just a little harder to convince. And so she's got this pickaxe. And she quite quickly takes in the fact that he has got a stick. And she's just like, comes down and she's going to whistle, because I'm going to say that there's another person, random NPC survival. Was it that one I clicked? Nope. Which one did I roll that got Melissa? NPC encounter. Zoe. Okay, so she yells out. Sorry. She yells out to Zoe. Hey Zoe! And Zoe runs over with her flippin' shotgun out. She's like, hey, I found this guy skulking around. And Andrew was like, whoa. I was like, hold, my haven got overrun. I'm no threat. And like, he pops down the stick. And was like, no way, like, I don't trust him. I think we should just, like, he's probably got more people somewhere. And Zoe, I'm going to do a reaction. Let's see what Zoe thinks of him. Even though Melissa is automatically offside. Zoe, being an ex-police officer, she gets an instant read. And she's like, "What, Melissa? Back down, man! Like, where'd you come from? What's your name?" And he's, "My name's Andrew. I've got nowhere. I got attacked. I just got away. I need help." And she's like, "Yeah." I think what it is, expanding out a little bit, is that the group in the prison, it's, I mean, ex-police officer, ex-drug addict. I think there was a mix of people who took over this prison, where the guards and the prisoners themselves that stayed around have come to an accord. They realize that actually at this point we're just humans, and it's humans versus Walker. That person they kicked out was a thief who was stealing from the group, so there was actually a strong sense of justice. Maybe it was Zoe that actioned it. But they're not actually an immediately hostile group. Half of them were considered the trash of society, and the other half were the ones are meant to be the ones trying to rehabilitate them. I don't necessarily agree with things like boot camps or anything like that, but topical. So yeah, Zoe is like, well, hold on, mate. Like, we got to make sure that we just got to make sure. So you keep walking. We're going this way. I'm going to escort you back. Let's keep an eye out, and if there's trouble, let me know. But I'm going to bring him back, and we're going to have to put you aside, Andrew. But yeah, come with me. And so she's going to take him back to this the prison. And lo and behold, guards on the gate, and they see Zoe, and they open up the gate. She's like, "Hey, I've got a stray," and who's looking around. Gates open, and he's let in. And I think that today I'm going to wrap up there. I'm going to have this one session so far where Andrew poor bastard, has escaped from his haven being overrun, found a petrol station where he tried to scavenge some things, was attacked by the cannibalistic owner, then attacked by a walker, which he used to kill the cannibal owner. And honestly, if he'd stuck around, there probably would have been heaps inside of that building, but he didn't. And then he has now been captured. He's in the custody of Zoe Valdez, an ex-police officer who is at this prison, which is a secure place where people live. Why, thank you. I like these games. They just have a lot written into them that you can run it. So yeah, I'll pause it. I'll pause Andrew's story there. I may be able to come back to it another time. We'll pick it up from him being in custody. And okay, well here's the thing. With the Walking Dead book, they actually recommend that you do it like the TV show. So it's not that you have to every minute of every day. They say do the scene that makes sense and then go to the next scene. And it might be that you're fast forwarding, flashing forwards, a day or hours or weeks or whatever it is, or months or years. So I think what we'll do is he's going to, when I come back to it, I'll decide whether it's more fun to have the scene of him getting integrated or whether it's more fun just to fast forward to when he's been accepted into the group. Actually, that sounds like it'll be more fun. At the same time, though, I also want to run Pirate Borg, especially seeing how International Talk Like Pirate Day is coming up next month, and so I want more practice with Pirate Borg so that I can play more Pirate Borg. And it's got so many random tables and looks so much fun. So, yeah, we'll pause Andrew's story. I like to come back to it, but I also like to think that, yeah, another tick, you can just pick up this book, assuming you've read the rules a bit, make a character, sit down, make a character, and start telling a story. So yeah, Walking Dead, it's a pick up and play. Thank you for joining me, Moj, and anyone that watches this at another time. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for taking a break with me, and I will catch you next time, whenever that is. Take care.